Hey guys, welcome to Code Talks video number 3, how to code in Java. So this is really the same file YouTube tutorial, have the same class, just I removed the documentation to have kind of a clean slate. So today we will be covering math operators and uh, really without further ado, let's start and let's do this a little in a more efficient way as we're a little more experienced programmers for whoever's been following along. And I do recommend you watch my other two videos in order and then come back to just, know where we're at so far. So we're doing math operators. So today I was thinking let's actually create a small program to demonstrate how math operators work. So system.out. First, we're gonna create a mini application. Let's just say. So we're right. Welcome to. You can write whatever you want in here. It's okay. And then I'll add a space. System.out.println space. I didn't really write anything this close, just for those who wanted to know. All right. So I was thinking to demonstrate how math operators work, let's create a program where we ask the user for two numbers and then do some operation with them. So as we know, to get input, we need to use the java.util class. There's another way which will I keep saying we're gonna do it in the future, but I don't even know if we'll get to it because this is the more efficient way. So we'll create the scanner object. We've been over this. Really nothing new about it. Same, you know the drill. Oh, I press caps lock. And yeah, so the scanner has been created. Let's declare all our variables. Int A to store the first number, int B to store the second number, and total. I've been over this in the variables video where you can use commas so you don't have to keep writing int A, int B, int C, right? Otherwise you'd have to do, let's say I was doing x into x int z, it doesn't make sense. So, I can't remember if I've been over this now that I'm thinking of it. So all these variables are uninitialized, and what that means is they have no value attached to them. They have nothing, so null. So if I tried to print out A, which I'll just show you so you guys don't get confused. A, no, something will happen. I'll just print out. Oh, it won't print out. It won't work. Sorry, never mind. Yeah. So don't try that. I'll it, it would print out. I thought it would print out something, but apparently it doesn't. So even I learned something today. They're uninitialized, have no value, so they're just there. And there's really no point in assigning zero in them. So it's especially for our purposes because we're gonna initialize them anyway. So we're gonna get input here. So we're gonna get input. This is a good way to spread out and section. Sorry, what am I saying? This is a good way to organize your program and figure out what you're going to do in the program. And then, so here I'm planning to get the input, do an operation, and then print result. All right. So print get input a equals sc dot next int. Bang. Now it will ask for the user, but it's usually good to add prompts like I talked about in the last video. System dot out dot print. So, alright, enter your first number. Alright, copy this. Probably want to add a space here just so it looks better. Adding spaces and enters, it's just based on choice and how it looks. So change this to B, obviously. All right. Congrats, we have our first part of our program done. We're getting the input. Next, we will do an operation. So let's just start with addition. Total equals A plus B, and that's really our first math operator. It's really that simple. All right, and then we will system dot out dot print ln the result is this, and then plus total. We've been over how plus this is a string literal, then to add a variable attached to it, I have to add a plus, and let's run it. Enter your first number 2, 3. The result is 5. Simple, bang, done. If I wanted to subtract, simple, write a minus here. Multiply, write an asterisk. Alright, they'll all work, I'm sure of it, 120%. Divide. Alright, so you shouldn't really divide with integers, especially when you know there's no restriction on the user to enter an integer. So you'd like to convert your variables to doubles, and honestly, you could do some mix and matching, but in terms of keeping some integer, keeping some double, but we'll keep that's a part of another video, and I'm sure of that. So you can see if you convert them to a double, as we've been over, doubles can hold floating points. So welcome to Code Talks Calculator. Enter your first number 2, 3, bang gives you 0.66. Perfect. All right. So that's really as simple as that, and we're running pretty good on time with around a 6-minute video. As this next part is going to be working with another library. So what if you wanted to do some exponents, roots? How would you do that? So there's a library in Java called java.math. No, it's not capital. Dot star. Importing the whole library again. Just something I want to point out. Each library takes up space and memory, and if you import the whole library, it takes a few milliseconds, but sometimes when you're solving problems, there's a time constraint and every millisecond counts. So it's better to import specific objects from library if you can, just to make your program faster. Here we have no, just import the star here because there's more than one and it'll just be easier. So I'm gonna import the individual, scanner. I'm not sure. I've actually never imported individual stuff except for objects, which we'll talk about in a future video. Sorry, I just started playing around. I was a bit curious. So the math library allows you to do a lot of operations in terms of floors, rounding, as well as random integers and things like that. My next video tomorrow, you know what? I'm releasing a random facts video that pulls a little stuff from a lot of topics that I promise you guys will understand. So the math library works with doubles, so whatever you want to do has to do with doubles unless you want to cast, which we haven't learned yet, but we will in next video because we just decided that we're gonna do some random stuff and play around with Java. Just actually I'll release 2 videos tomorrow. Feeling in a good mood. All right. So I just realized something. To get the input for these doubles, I never talked about how you can use int. So a double can store an int, but an int can't store a double, and it's really as simple as that. I hope that doesn't sound confusing because that's how I was taught. Anyways, that's not what matters. So it's good practice to keep your double input with double and your int input with ints as yeah, I'll give you an example why. People if you enter on a floating point in an integer input, it will cause an error and then your program will stop and the user will get scared and that's not fun. So we're not going to do that today because we don't want to scare people and we're good citizens of society. Alright, I'm rambling way too much. You gotta stick to the point. So let's say I wanted total to equal um a to the power of b. Alright? So I would do math, calling something from the math library dot pow. We use pow to show power, and we do the base. You have to enter two things that are separated, two values that are doubles separated by a comma. So I do a comma separated by b. A to the power of b. A is the base and b is the exponent. So if I had to write out a common total would equal a to the power of b, and really as simple as that, and we could try it out. Um, just constantly checking the time. Answer first number 2, 3, and you can see 2 to the power of 3 is 8. And it's as really as simple as that. I know I keep saying that, but it's just I just want to explain just how this math, capital M, it's a part of a library. Dot pow is a function or what we call in Java method of that library, and that function asks for two things, which are found in these not brace brackets, normal parentheses. And the first is the base, second is your you call it your exponent. So what it's really doing on a simple level, if you had to think about it at a basic level, is just multiplying a by itself in a loop for b amount of times. And yeah, that's really it. So I can square root with this if any of you are familiar with if you add a 1 over the exponent, it does that root. So let's say I wanted to square root it, I do just add brackets, it's better to keep it nice and clean. 1 over 2, that would square root. If I want a cube root, I just change this to a 3, quad root, I think 5, no, 4, and then 5, and 6, and that would root it that many times. But usually you just want a square root, so there's a method for that inside the math class, which is math.sqrt, I like to call it squirt sometimes, and then a, and you would square root a, and total would be equal to that, and that is also simple. So of course it doesn't have to return a whole number as we've worked with that. And those are the two methods, your first methods that you've ever used. So congrats on that. Enter your first number, so 2, then 3. So it asks us for the second number, but we don't even use it ultimately. So that's it for today. I think I will actually do a part 2 tomorrow as this video is getting a little longer than I was hoping to. Talk about other operators, but that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Okay, bye.